Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. I'm very happy I have sound today. Found out yesterday I went to go on, I had no sound. So I wasn't able to see you guys. Well, for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play as karmic themes to help you understand why you're attracting who you're attracting, right? I mean, a lot of times we're like, why is my person doing what they're doing? They act like they don't like us sometimes when you know that they do. They do things to get underneath our skin when really, if a person feels like home, that really shouldn't be what it feels like to be with them. Unfortunately, the homes that we grew up in a lot of times did feel that way. So, the universe always brings us what we need to help us revert back to our original energy of unconditional love. And I always like to tell people that a little bit in the beginning of the readings. And the reason why is because a lot of times people say, is there something wrong with me? When really there's nothing wrong with you. It's the thought that there is something wrong that attracts that energy. Now, are we walking around conscious of it? No, a lot of times not. So these readings obviously have a therapy style to them. I like to go deep. So again, looking at everything to help you to make the best decisions for you, because really the answers are inside of you. Just when we get all emotional because what the person does, then we can't feel. And then if you can't feel, then it's hard to navigate the connection, right? Now, anything of any importance or relevance in the channel, you know where to find it. It's in the description box. My group shadow healing coaching program for $7.99. You get everything: inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and all the healing modalities to help you heal the effects of trauma. When I work on a one-to-one with people, it costs anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000. Where this is $7.99 a month. It's a great deal, and it's fun. I would have liked to do this healing more, to be honest with you, in a group. And the reason why is because when you go through traumatic experiences, you want to tell people, but your friends are like, I don't want to hear it anymore. Or, people, if you tell people, people can get the wrong idea. So you don't want to share everything about yourself with everybody. You just don't, because people will use that information against you. And so it's a safe space. And that's something that I didn't have. When I was growing up, I would get people that say, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's how they would meet me. Not, hey, Laura, how are you doing? It was, I don't want to hear it. Because I would say something because I didn't know any better. The trauma, and we get scared stupid. We're not thinking about how we are appearing to other people. We're thinking more about our survival. And so, like I said, it's close to me is why I created something like this. Okay. I'm going to get emotional, and I don't want to get emotional. All right. The word of the video is self-denying. I feel two things here. I feel like you're in separation from someone that wants to come towards you, but they're deliberately holding them back. And I also feel like there's a part of you that's still connected to this person. And as long as you stay connected to this person, you're denying yourself. Really, healing means we have to do things that don't feel good. So I feel like this person does feel like home. You feel like home to this person, but everyone is like holding themselves back from doing anything. You're kind of in a Mexican standstill. That's the energy. Let's pull another one for that underlining energy. That's what I got just from that card. And let's see. Intolerance. And it's mainly because you got to a point where, yeah, you feel like home, but you don't treat me right. So, though I have feelings for you, I'm not going to cave. This person wants you to lower your standards. And that's what you know. And it's not because they don't know that you're deserving, but it's because where they are in life is what I'm feeling now. I don't know why I feel what I feel, but we're going to find that out. We know that this is a soulmate relationship. That knowing, that wisdom is claircognizance, which is, I don't know how I know it, I just know. And so this person is usually, guess what they want? I want you to know. And the fact that you are like, nope, I'm intolerant to your bullshit, and you're standing your ground, like this person, like, is a little bit like, what's wrong with this person? Everybody likes me. I usually get what I like. And the fact that you're like, I'm not playing. I don't care. Like this person loves the chase. I feel like they get bored easily. They don't like the whole commitment thing. And that's the whole thing that you're intolerant to. You're like, I don't like, you're not going to stay connected to me and give me nothing. That's not what I want. So that energy. So what happens is again, this person is neglecting you, almost teaching you a lesson. I say that because there's like a little bit of smugness, self-righteousness, where what you say, see, and that's what you don't get. The whole time you're disrespecting me because it's not about the relationship anymore. It's about you winning. It's about the dominance. And this is why. And this person is starting to see that. That's why, again, the energy was, again, the self-denying, holding them back, but also a little bit wanting to be, well, that's not really what happened. They want to flip the switch, a little bit, like change the story where really you got to a point where, like, if you're intolerant, it means like, I'm over it. I'm over it. So, which is why this person all of a sudden has anxiety because they can feel it. You feel like home, ESP through the heart and mind. Wisdom is that knowing, which is the claircognizance. So again, it's unfair. I've had enough. It's unfair. You're disrespectful. It's all about you winning. It's not about a relationship. It's about you dominating me somehow. And to have me be put in a position where I know that you're going to hurt me, because that's what this person does. Because they don't build the intimacy, the trust, the closeness. It's like they have a lot of time and attention for a lot of things. Don't you kid yourself. They might have a hobby, and that hobby, they're always doing it. It's not even like this person has a lot of friends. I feel like, so it's not like this person that can't give you the time, is what I'm trying to get at. It's again, and what they did is they came in and out of your life, and that's it. So they wanted to hold on to you. They wanted to give you enough to hold on to you. But again, it wasn't emotionally deep. This person has commitment issues, and they just don't care whether they're unfair or not. They kind of want to have their cake and eat it too. So now that you're not giving in to this person, I want to know spiritually what's happening, what this person thinks, what they feel, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. Like, I want to know what the whole point is. Why is it you're in such a power struggle? What's happening? I want to know everything about you, but I hold myself back from asking. I'm afraid I'll get in too deep. We know this already. That is the intimacy problems. That is, if I don't know you, then, you can't hurt me. I don't care what I don't know. So they try to keep it on the surface, which is why you got annoyed. Our union energy needs clearing. Again, like that's what it is. This person knows that you're pissed off, and they don't really know if they can fix it. They're too afraid to offer too much. And so the thing is, at this point, they know that that there's a part of you that it's up to you. And so it says our union energy needs clearing. Repeat this after me. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful for you. These are the things that this person needs to express to you, and you need to express it to them. You refuse to express it to them until they make you feel comfortable and safe. The thing is, this person actually is like a baby. They want you to chase them. They won't get deep. They will not create that intimacy until they also feel safe. So it's almost like both parties are waiting for it. But this person created a lot of shit and manipulation in order to get it, which you're like, that's why I'm not giving it. So, but that's really, it's not that this isn't a spiritual connection, but person continues to do the same thing over and over and over again. Well, guess what? Now you have trust issues, and this person like has trust issues, but not necessarily because any people screw them over. It's the reaction to what they do. So they have toxic connections, which is why they're like, I don't want a committed relationship because then people try to dominate me. And that would happen because they would always attract a person that has abandonment issues, because of being anxious, avoidant, like didn't get what they need. Where this person is a runner, they're an avoidant. So they're going to continue to get that spiritual lesson because they're out of balance. Where spirit says, and you're out of balance, that's why you're getting that person. And that's the energetic cord. So it's not a happy cord anymore. It's a fuck you. It's like, you're not like, I'm asking you to do so little, and you refuse to change. That's so right, where you see that this person wouldn't have a problem with other people. And it's triggering to you because they really have feelings. And that's the irony. You're like, yeah, but if they have feelings, it looks like shit. I don't want this. I want someone that loves me and shows me that they love me the way that I need to experience it. And spirit says, well, you're not going to get that until you integrate the spiritual lesson, just so you know. That's why we're doing this reading. Because if it's gone that one of us is angry and it's creating an energetic match or frequency, this is repeating what I just said, creating an energetic match and frequency. Stay conscious of this to help elevate it, where you're like, I'm not, unless you fix it, I'm going to stay in this energy. And that's kind of the energetic hook that spirit says, yes, they'll be like, that's the way that you are that they made you, or you feel that way, but that's not a healthy energy for you. You're not going to bring happy things to you. You're not going to be able to create anything. It's the way this person's able to energetically stay connected to you without giving you anything. So that's the worst thing that can happen. And that's how a low vibrational person does keep you hooked. So it's like, because what's happened is, again, like, you're like, I want it fixed. I like fixed where you say something, you apologize, you take responsibility for how you are, that you do something. This person's never going to do that. They're never going to do that. This person, like, they're starting to understand the spiritual connection. And then they close their eyes, they see you, they feel you, they're beginning to understand what it means to be in the 5D with you. They're not a spiritual person. It's, again, when you would say, oh, the 5D, or maybe you never even said that because you knew that that would be over this person's head, but you're like, they would say, I can feel you, or I feel like I've always known you before. They say things like that, but they're like starting to understand. It's going over to like more of a spiritual connection. So I know the universe works in mysterious ways, but I judge this situation. So, and we know that it's like they're getting in their own way. They're self-sabotaging the connection because they judge it. And they're like, again, well, shouldn't it be easy? And no, it's not easy because they need healing. So they don't have a problem with surface relationships, but they have problems with themselves. because we're not here to have surface relationships. Here for a good time, not a long time. We're not here for that. We're here to be the expressions of love by having those deep, rich relationships, not to use people and to be a player. I'm triggered and old patterns has surfaced and it hurts. Well, it's again, of course, for them, it does because, hey, you're not giving in. You're not giving in. But I'm sure that it's this also how this person is acting like you're being a dick, like whether a girl or a guy, it or whatever, you know, it's of course you're mad because like you're saying I'm asking for so little and you're being such a asshole. You're focusing more on again like controlling than the actual relationship to the point that you destroyed the relationship. It's like where this person in a way thinks that they're still playing. It's like, and so where they're still thinking about, but they're pissed off because you're not giving in. So, and the more that you don't give in, the more that this person has to look at themselves, right? And it's going to trigger them because they're like, it doesn't feel good to be an asshole, and when you're holding a person accountable, that's why they're angry because it's like you're holding them accountable. Oh, just let it go. Oh, just, where you're like, no, because I don't want this type of relationship. And how dare you look at me that way? And how dare you treat me that way? It's like, no. Sometimes I feel like you're speaking to me in my head and it triggers me. Of course, everything triggers this person, you know, that you can see me. They don't like who they are. So, this is I can't, they don't want to get that deep. So if they don't want to get that deep knowing about you, you think they want you to know everything about them? No. But it's like, it's not like you can't see what's going on inside this person because of how they're acting on the outside. It's like, oh, they think that, oh, because my mask is showing one thing, that you don't see what's really, that I feel inadequate. I feel like there's something wrong. I don't believe in relationships. Relationships are always toxic. And you don't see that. You just see all the fuckery on the outside. But you still have to understand what's going on the inside is that please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. Like, yeah, if you would take your time with this person, the Israelites, I think they got stuck in the desert for about 40 years. Well, and it would be like a desert for you. Nothing, because that's what they gave, is nothing. And that's the problem. It's like they give so little and what they're used to, tricking people, getting what they want, and then having toxic relationships and becoming addicted to those toxic relationships because, oh, well, look, that person's getting so angry. Look how they desire me, you know? It's like instead of, like actually putting the time and the energy in. This way, when it's over, I don't really care anymore because, that person. And so with you, you're like, I'm just not going to play along. I'm going to give you fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing. And when I mean nothing, I mean nothing. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. I mean nothing. And that's why this person it's getting underneath their skin. Because unless you play along, well, they have to look at the situation and see what they're sabotaging and why they're sabotaging it. And it doesn't really make much sense, which is why they don't want you to see what's going on inside of them. So it's again, this relationship, even though there's absolutely fucking nothing going on the outside, there's a shit ton going on the inside. And Spirit says, old wounds, old childhood wounds. It's like they've become cement. That's what it feels like. So those behaviorisms, how this person navigates, that's why they're blocked. Blocked actually does mean like it's like you're blocked from seeing everything. So unless things are happening on the inside that are emotionally affecting this person, well, guess what? They're not going to heal. But if you stay staring at this person, you're going to get so mad. So intuitively, and we're going to see later on when I pull the inner child cards, but I feel like you're attracted to this person into your life because you had a parent or you had somebody that just was so fucking stubborn, where you were like that, it affected you, it cost the relationship, like that, the fact that they had to be right, it had to be their way, that the relationship could have been a lot deeper, it could have been a lot richer, but because of that it was like, fuck you, fuck you. It's like, I'm not dealing. And spirit says you don't want to get to that point, because it's almost like, because then you'll be blocked of I get people that come into my life that like to be an asshole, and they don't care that it affects me, and guess what, then they leave and they don't care about that either. And spirit says you don't want to make that the theme, because that's what it's kind of feeling like. And spirit says know that we need to wait for divine timing. Timing is healing our wounds and creating the perfect conditions for our reunion. So if this is like a soulmate connection or a karmic mate connection, that spirit says I'm purposely keeping you guys away from each other, because it's creating that tension. And that tension is combined with sexual tension, because there's a lot of passion, but also a lot of hurt and a lot of anger and a lot of, so it's creating a cord. And this person really has to get that uncomfortable. But understand, spirit says, if you stare at it, you're going to get uncomfortable too, because it's going to trigger your old wounds. And that's what this connection is. So I don't believe that they're a twin flame because they were a lower energy. However, if this person comes back and they have done the healing, they might be. That's not what it's showing. What it's showing is like that both parties have spiritual blockages, and that both parties are stuck in a perception, and both parties need healing. We saw why that person needs healing. We see why you need healing. So that energetic cord, you're not like, oh, I can feel them around me. You're not crazy, but you're also creating that cord by your thoughts and your emotions. A cord only works if two people are doing it. So it's almost like on the astral level, you know what this relationship should have been, and so does this person. And so that's why it's like stuck. I feel like I don't deserve your love. I'm worried you'll leave me when you see who I really am. That's where it is, folks. Right there. I have to wear this mask, because if you really see who I am, and if I get too deep and I become transparent, you're going to reject me, and you're going to abandon me. Sorry. So we have to say, what are they going to do about it? What are they going to do about it? And that doesn't mean that you have to take this person back. And what it means is that you have to we want to see where it's going. And also inquiring minds always want to know what they're going to do. They're still emotionally connected to you. There's still a psychic, empathetic, intuitive connection to you. This is still there. They're very sensitive, like they need healing. So a highly sensitive person that has that energy is going to, again, look deep inside of themselves. They're going to be very cautious. But they still feel that connection to you. And they're lonely. They're detached. What did I say? I said they're going within. Didn't I tell you that? I said, so right now it's forcing them to go inside of themselves and look at their life. It's like, because it's not like this connection isn't there. what they see is that they've ruined the relationship for being this way. And they're like, why did I do that? Again, they're starting to see clearly, and their gut is telling them. So, like I said, about their issues, their baggage, their fears, their fear of separation, and also the fact that, hey, you're gonna like cut them off, if they don't transform. Really, it's like because their mask fell off. You see exactly who they are. So they only have one way to go. And that's either I'm going to come back and apologize for how I was because I'm taking this time out. I am lonely, but I'm going within during this time and I'm doing my healing. And I have to see I have to see. Like, so they might seem like they're blocked, but it's only temporary because they're actually doing the work, is what the spirit's saying, to transform, again, temporary block with that baggage. Look at this. I just fell out. And like to them, there's a part of them that, I do feel them like you may not like it like this, but I definitely feel them taking an adventure like towards you. Um, but this person is still going to be self-indulgent. So they might have very addictive behavior. There's someone that can make a lot of money is what I'm feeling. So they might be putting a lot of their time into healing, but also like working up their finances. So when they actually take that adventure towards you, well, you're not going to recognize them. You're not going to recognize them. This person is seeming like, again, right now, like they don't care, and they're purposely coming across like that, like a cool cat, like they're unbothered. But this person is not emotionally intelligent. They're not going to show anything. They're just working on themselves. There's a lot changing inside of them. Yeah, because of the passion. It's the catalyst for change. Like again, it says it right here. It's catalyst for change. It's action, it's excitement, it's like it's sudden. So when this person comes back, it's almost like you're gonna be like, what? What? You haven't been here. Like you haven't, first of all, you haven't been in my life. You haven't given anything. You act like you don't give a shit. But this person is like, they don't even know when they're coming back. They don't even know. It's divine timing. But it's because they're doing the work. And it doesn't mean that they're 100% healed either, but what they're realizing is that they still have that emotional connection. They've had plenty of time to, again, go within to do the work. And that's the thing. You feel like home. You feel like a kindred spirit. They can't explain it. They're not a spiritual person. They just got what it means to feel like they are with you in the 5D. They just got that. So they're not behind, but it's the tension, like I said, the anxiety that puts it in motion, because it's that sexual tension, that anxiety, like I said, that band where you're in a Mexican standstill, and this person now like is thinking, and it usually gets what they want, and you're someone that's standing your ground, but eventually this person just snaps. So they don't know when that's going to happen. They might even think that they're not going to do it, but it's the fact that there's so much strain and tension and pressure that they've been trying to suppress, self-deny right from the beginning, where it's like, you're like, I'm not fucking giving in. I don't give a shit. You can, you know, do everything that you want. And that's, this person knows that if they give in, well, hey, everything's on your terms. And that's the way that they look at it, which that's not 100% true either, because you don't want to be in a relationship by yourself. You just want it fair. This person is used to getting what they want, and then they don't like what they want. They create toxic relationships. You're making sure that this won't be a toxic relationship. So, all this tension and stress that this person is creating it based on previous relationships, not you. If you would have given in to this person, hey, they wouldn't be this, you know, this rubber band effect where eventually it's just going to snap. The rubber band can only stretch so much, you know, and the more that you focus on your work, spirit says, not this person. It's like, because hey, you might be connected and think about that person because you just can't help it. But if you also have other focuses, well, then that person feels you not that pressure less from your side. That's going to create a lot more anxiety for this person, because then they're like, I can't feel you. And so it's all for the purpose of their healing. But do they care? Yes, they're holding themselves back. Again, not because of you, but they're taking it out on you. They have baggage. And spirit says that's why they're in this position. For you, we're going to find out why you're in this position, because you're like, okay, um, because you're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. What was the inner child wounds? Those will tell us those karmic themes that have played out throughout your life. It's like, oh, this just is always what happens. Or they might tell us talents or gifts that you're not even aware of. They might tell us, you know, they're going to tell us what we need to do with the energy. Okay, naive, nurturance, disassociated, unworthy, resilience, space. I'm laughing because, hey, when you're resilient, it's like this person didn't know who they were coming up against. You know, that you're like, oh, I don't give up. I get what I want. This person like is like people that like, wow, you're stubborn. You usually get what you want. Where it's like, well, your childhood was affected. Again, at a young age, you were made to feel unworthy. That could be psychological or emotional abuse, but that naive, again, when we're children, we're naive. We're also supposed to get nurturing when we're young. But if we're made to feel unworthy and made to feel not good enough, then we want to be invisible. We don't really want to be seen. And so a child's way of being invisible, because they can't run away, they're stuck in that environment, is, well, they detach, they disassociate. It's like, yeah, they know what's going on, but it doesn't mean that they, you know, are aware of how it's affecting them 100%. You know what I mean? It's like they're in their own world, they're inside themselves. But spirit says, but you get gifts from that. It's, again, the child that survives thrives, so it opens up the third eye, but it makes you resilient, which is why it was laughing, because it's like, oh no, like it's like I'm used to having to fight for what I get. People, again, tend to misjudge me, or they tend to, where spirit says, again, yeah, you got strong, but you weren't able to be a child, because children need to feel safe, not unworthy, not good enough. And that happens for many reasons. Sometimes parents, their life isn't working. So because their life isn't working, they're just angry. And then they project that onto their children. The children are like, well, like if you love me, you wouldn't act like that. Especially because children try to, you know, make things easier. They're intuitive, they're sensitive to their family. They want to give and be helpful and love. No child comes out and says, I want to be an asshole today. No, that's not what happens. What happens is over time, children shut down. We shut down. And so Spirit says, but if you are surviving, then there's all this space where you haven't created. There's a story of who you think you are, then there's a real story of who you truly are. And you say, why do you do that? And God says, for my glory, we wouldn't have a relationship. I work through you, I work through the environment. So if you can imagine it, you can create it. And that's by becoming yourself. But if you were, feeling unworthy and not good enough and wanted to be invisible, well, then you live very safe. And so Spirit says, and now you attracted somebody that also is living real safe. But look what it does. It causes harm. It ruins relationships. It closes you off. It means that you have a closed heart chakra. And it's not and it doesn't mean that you're not lovable. And it doesn't mean that you don't love other people and you might be that person that overgives and never gets anything back. So it's just used to I'm not going to get hurt. I'm not going to expect anything. I'm not going to put myself in that position where that's what this person is doing. So Spirit says we heal the heart by becoming ourselves, because no one's going to be able to, one person doesn't fix it. It's while you're on your path, you're meeting people and being brought to situations and experiences that are changing your mind and your heart about how you perceive yourself and what you perceive about the world and the world around you. How am I looking for? I'm looking for these. So we have to transmute the negative energy, because it's we see already we have to go out into the world. Part of going out into the world also is, just because this person's coming back, Spirit says they're not 100% healed. It's you help them heal by you stepping into better energy, because it's not like there's not a connection, but you still need to do your healing. This person needs to heal. They need to surrender their ego, and again, eventually come back and apologize and do whatever. And that's eventually going to happen, because again, that tension is going. Spirit says, now you need to go out into the world and nurture yourself. Maybe you don't know how to do that as much because you're always worried about other people. The Spirit says, now it's time for you to listen to the whispers of your soul. Again, guiding you. And that's just intuitively. What do I want to join? Intuitively, what interests me? What am I passionate about? Because the second chakra is all about the relationships. And when you get into power struggles of control, again, second chakra imbalance, Spirit says that's kind of a theme where you're well, I don't control, I just control myself. I don't give anything. What Spirit says, it's still controlling. It's you can't navigate. We can go with the flow of life through the passion for life by birthing something. It's that second chakra that's in balance. And that person is a representation of that second chakra in balance, because you were made to feel unworthy. You were made to feel like there was something wrong, when meanwhile, there's nothing wrong. If you were in survival, you weren't nurturing, again, those parts of yourself that open new doorways to make you meet new people and situations, experiences. But it's never too late. It's time to listen to the whispers of your soul. Just make sure to align your actions with your values. This way, whoever comes to you, you're telling them without telling them, this is who I am. I invest in myself. I love myself. I give to myself. I know I'm worthy. You're not going to make me feel unworthy. And it's and that's the thing. This person tried to make you feel unworthy so that you would lower your standards. The fact that you didn't, Spirit says, yes, we're winning, but it's not like winning, but it's almost like Spirit says you're healing, but in this situation, yes, because they're in this competition to hold out on you. That's why the rubber band effect. Spirit says, we're winning. But now it's to do something with that energy. You have to transmute it. And there's not enough of you that where you say, "Oh, this is what I love." Every Thursday I go to the winery, or every Friday I go square dancing, or every Tuesday if God does says, I don't give a fuck what it is. It's like find other passions because that's what's going to balance it out. Because what you know is that this person likes to have a big head. They like to have things their way. And so you don't control by talking. That's what this person showed you. You show them by bye. I'm going to have a good time tonight. You're not all that. You want more? You got to give me more. That's the way because I'm emotionally being fed somewhere else. Because that's what this person has a problem with giving emotionally. So you're not being manipulative because they have feelings for you. They just don't feel comfortable doing that because of whatever they've been conditioned to do. However, it's triggering to you. It will not be triggering to you if you're getting emotionally fed somewhere else. Then whatever they do, you'll be happy with. Just like a child, when a child gives you a bunch of weeds, you say, "Oh, look at these beautiful roses. Oh my God." And you put them in a vase. Well, that person needs to hear more of that when they give so little. It's again because they're so afraid. So Spirit says you're only getting it because you didn't do enough for yourself. And the fact that you're saying, well, shouldn't they do it? Mary Jo has a guy that does it, and Bobby says, well, Lisa has somebody that does it. Well, Spirit says, yeah, and you can too, but you have to again go through this in order to like state it because this person might stay for a day, a season, or they might change and they might stay for a lifetime. You don't know, Spirit's saying, but it's more about you transforming those wounds that you have that made you feel unworthy, made you feel not good enough. You're resilient. You know what to do. Use that resilience now towards finding yourself, creating yourself. This person's going to follow suit. They're going to follow suit, and which they need to. So even if you're not with them, they're still going to watch you and they're still going to say, that person's on to brighter horizons. I don't want to stay here. I want to be where they're going. And Spirit might say, well, you're shit out of luck. That person already left. You missed the boat. But you're still on to brighter horizons, a better place than where you were. And you learned a lesson, that don't play so many games and you won't lose somebody. Or you might be with this person. But right now, this person's on to brighter horizons. It's like you got to catch up. You got to do all that healing before. And Spirit says, and then this way, if this person does come back, you say, well, I'm already in brighter horizons. Why do I want you? Or you might say, I'm in brighter horizons and I'm enjoying the fact that you're here. But I don't really know until that time comes, is what Spirit is saying. That's how it's supposed to happen because you're on to success. This is all about you because you didn't nurture yourself. This is your time to shine, not about this person. And Spirit says, grow and thrive in the universe. Discover the purity of your heart and the higher wisdom that guides you towards victory. That you direct your thoughts towards clarity and nurture wisdom, love, and goodness within you right now. And that you are free now and you are going to succeed in life. That's what Spirit says is what's supposed to happen right now. Because when this person comes back, they need to hold to a certain standard. You're going to meet people along the way. And it doesn't mean you're going to take this person back. We don't know. It didn't say, and it wasn't supposed to say. That's not the timing. In divine timing. And we're like, well, when is that? Who knows? That's why Spirit says, don't be waiting, be living, be growing, because you're going to meet other things, people, situations that are going to feed you emotionally, that you're not going to look for this person. It's like you're not even gonna like stare at this person. This person, when they come back, they would have to work for it. Their heart is closed, is what spirit says. Them doing the work doesn't mean all of a sudden their heart's open. Oh no. The fact that they have to come back and ask for forgiveness, well, that's what opens up a person's heart. It's like they have to surrender their ego first. And that might take some time, spirit's saying. They're not very good in the spiritual arts. That they got left back a few times, and they're better in the physical realm, all that shady energy, like Judas can, very good with that energy, just not good in the spiritual energy. So they're kind of learning, and you are creating, and that's also going to make this person want to come back, because they're like, wow, you're having a great time, and I'm sitting over here, and it's like, and look what I fucked up. I could have been over there. And spirit says, yeah, just like when you're a little kid and you see that all the kids did their work and they're out on the playground and you're stuck in the classrooms doing makeup work. That's what it kind of feels like for this person. And they're like, and they're mad about it. And spirit's saying, well, the sooner you do your work, the sooner you get out. But you'll have to be a better version of yourself to be with that person, because hey, you're already in your success. So you're going to be like, I don't know, what the hell am I going to do with you now? So, and that this person knows it. And spirit says, well, that's their karma. It doesn't mean that you won't take them back. If there really is love there, you will. But, this person's going to be very nervous until then, but they have to be. It's their karma. They shouldn't have done what they did, spirit said. So, we leave off with one more. Oh, we pulled that, but we'll pull another one just for a good measure. And that is choice. It's going to be your choice. I was like, can you tell us anything else? No, spirit says you want to just always choose serenity and positive energy no matter what you go through. Choose happiness. And, rise above fear and direct your thoughts towards God, because God is love, and love isn't what's inside of you. And that is what gives you spiritual sovereignty to create your own heaven on earth, to be able to create what you imagine. God gave us that when it created us. We're all little gods, and we're able to create our own life. So spirit says, choose wisely. It's like, and you will get exactly what you want, success, because that's where you're headed. I'm going to leave that there. If you resonated, hey, thanks, Brandon T. If you resonated, please give it a like. And if you want to learn about a specific topic, feel free to write it in the comments or drop me a line. I love it when you guys reach out. And until next time, be true to you. Remember, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. Be true to you. This way you're teaching people just by how you're treating yourself. A lot of people don't listen to what you say, but they listen to what you do. Bye-bye.